broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Yeehaw.
Yeah. I'm just waiting to hear the song.
I think it is playing.
Oh,
there it is.
Oh, it's playing. It's
very morbid.
It's just very morbid. Well, this is a show that has a lot of killings in it. Here we go.
Hey.
God, their music is so on
It is
point.
really. It always ends the show correctly.
Welcome, everybody. We just have to hear this song a little bit. This is Can't Help Yourself by Blackwater Fever, and this is the song that ended this week's episode of The Following. Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Following After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. My name is Nando Velasquez. You can follow me on Twitter at NandoVel, and my established panel is back this week to talk about everything The Following. Let us start off with the person right next to me.
Hello, I am Michael Andrew. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Michael_Drew. That's Michael, EAL. That's very important to put that E there.
Hi, I'm Pegah Rad. You can follow me on Twitter at Pegah Rad.
And I'm Sean Overman. You guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Sean Austin O.
And you can watch us right now. We are on live here Tuesday night at a little bit after 8 p.m., like 8:13. We started a little bit late, but you can follow us right now if you'd like, and you can watch us live and join in the conversation either on the chat room at YouTube, or you can also tweet at us with the hashtag ABTV following. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And let's get cracking. This was another look. I gotta say, man, I'm just loving this season. This is great. I'm loving Theo, and he is definitely someone to be someone to be scared of.
I just want to take something back. Last week I said Michael Ealy, just a good looking dude. I don't really see him. He scared me this episode.
He did.
I take it back. He scared me.
In his Clark Kent attire.
The Clark Kent stuff. That one.
You caught the little putting up the glasses up with his finger thing. Yeah, totally.
His intro when his first intro into this episode, and he just said that when he just looked at him like, "Hey, do you want to live?" I was like, "All right, I'm scared." All right, he got me.
And he was at his office at Manatech faster than a speeding bullet.
Yeah, that guy moves.
He's a hero. He's a superhero.
That was, I will say, yeah, if we're talking about the little things, yeah, as a New Yorker, I don't know what neighborhood in Queens, that he was at when he was hunting down Louis Serra, but to go from Queens to Westchester County, jump out of the car, you guys said. So I would say it takes maybe an hour. Maybe you Ubered it. I don't know, Lyft car. I don't know. Maybe that's another
Do they have Uber
dangling
in New York?
thread. Yes, they have Uber in New York.
Oh, I thought
I'm pretty
it was
sure
against like the.
He probably hacked a train.
rules.
Well, this is going from Queens to Westchester, so
Okay.
yeah, I can understand like Manhattan being a little bit of a pain in the butt, but
Theo
yeah,
takes an Uber.
yeah, it takes.
It's like a spin-off.
Right, he hacked
the Uber. That's what I was going to say.
He hacked a subway train. He
Yeah,
just jumped
free
in
ride.
and he just zoomed down.
Absolutely. But anyway, so yeah, really killer episode. Get it?
Touche.
Yeah, there was quite a few deaths in this. What do you guys impressions of this episode?
Okay, I liked it. There were a lot of moments where I was like, "Oh, come on!" I think we all were like, "Come on!"
I think those are is that hashtag WTF moments right there?
Yeah, but it wasn't just FBI WTF. It was
Everything.
like
There were a couple.
everything.
Criminal WTFs,
yes,
too.
like how is this humanly impossible WTF?
Like there were a couple moments we kept looking at each other, just like, come on,
Yeah.
what's happening? You know?
It was still entertaining. I liked it.
I loved every moment that Joe Carroll was in. Everything he said made me laugh.
Yes.
It's just gold with him.
Well, you know, the foreplay between him and Ryan Hardy is extravagant. It's exquisite.
So
It's
good.
exquisite. It's all these big words.
I was hoping for more of the of him talking about how he's not the favorite student. They just kind of glossed over it. I really thought it was going to be I was hoping for him to have more of a moment of like, so wait, I'm not the favorite student. I was hoping for like a nice little back and forth. He's like, oh, I'm not the favorite student. Okay, anyway.
Well,
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I definitely didn't like it.
yeah, but I was hoping for more of a repartee.
but you
back and forth.
also have to understand that their game always is trying to rattle each other's cages. And if anything, I think Joe felt that Ryan was trying to rattle his cage by saying, oh, his best student did. So I think, if anything, the whole idea of the game is they can't reveal all their cards, or they can't reveal their weaknesses. Just like when Joe Carroll says, how's the love of your life? Or he starts talking
my
about all
gosh.
these little things. Yeah, he's trying to rattle Ryan Hardy's cage. And Ryan's not letting him, going to let him get to under his skin. So, yeah, absolutely.
I just thought it would bother him more.
You wanted it to bother
You wanted
it to bother him. I wanted it to bother him more, and I kind of wanted it to be because everyone thought Carroll was the favorite student, but now it's not his favorite student. I was very curious to see how does he feel about that? Like, how do you feel like you're not the favorite student? He's like, oh, I'm not. Huh.
I just
So
loved
how's your
how,
wife?
like-
how's your girlfriend or whatever?
Yeah, and like Ryan's trying to get answers from him. He's like, I'm not a trick pony, you know.
Sorry, guys. trying to get on the live streaming so I can see the chat room. So apologies for that.
Continue,
Anyway.
Pegah.
Continue,
No, he's
Pegah.
saying like he's not a trick pony and he has to kind of work for the convo. Like, at least take me to dinner first, or whatever
Yeah.
he said. The foreplay thing
Yeah.
was funny.
That was an interesting conversation because he woke Joe Carroll up from his night's sleep. And we don't often get to see Joe kind of caught off guard, but that happened this episode. He still threw out a lot of good insults and there was a good back and forth.
A few zingers.
Yeah, a few zingers here and there.
Yeah.
But still, Joe was dazed. He was like he just got rudely awakened.
Like, how dare you?
Well, talk about a rude awakening to, in the middle of their little repartee, to have someone walk in, the warden walk in, and pretty much said, yep, your death's been sealed. You're gonna die in 7 days. You get to pick how you die. Lethal injection or electric chair, but you are a goner.
Is that how they do it? While you're clearly in mid conversation with someone else, he just comes in and goes, hey, what's up, man? By the way, next week, it's a wrap for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
later.
For the purpose of the story, that's how.
Do people get to choose though in real life? Do we know?
I've
Anyone?
never been on
I'm
death
gonna
row.
look it up.
I know, that's true.
I've never been on. Luckily,
I
knock
didn't
on
make it.
wood.
That's true.
I haven't been on death row.
Ask cousin Vinny. I mean,
I was gonna say when he gave him the choice, you get to choose death by lethal injection or electric chair. I was expecting him to say Ryan Hardy. I
shot by
choose
Ryan.
death by Ryan Hardy. I was totally expecting that actually, but of course, beautiful to see that, and we'll talk about the last scene because that's weird a little bit later, but because that was really weird. But let's talk about Theo, because the name of this episode is The Hunt. It's the 7th episode of the 3rd season, and really the question I think in this is who's hunting who at one point, because it's obvious that they're hunting Theo, but he's hunting Luis and he's in Manatech and he's trying to change everything around, and again, really, really awesome, creepy, beautiful villain. And I mean that in a just as Joe Carroll would probably say, a delicious way.
Yeah.
That this guy is definitely a great adversary right now for Hardy and the gang.
His creepiness jumped up a notch this episode. I really didn't. Like, for the last episode, everything we were saying about how, like, hey, he's got a family, maybe he's got a heart, maybe he's a killer with a heart. Like, no, I take that back.
Yeah, there we go.
He disguises himself really well. He is a
does.
wolf in sheep's clothing to the T, to the teeth.
There were actually people commenting on our conversation about his family life and if he'd kill his family if he had to or whatever. So it's about 50-50. It's
I don't know. I think
you don't know now.
I don't know. I'm 75%.
Well, we saw last week. We saw Theo obviously kill his mentor, his teacher Strauss, and he let Daisy live. So, which is a very, very interesting choice.
Yeah.
And the reason why I bring this up, because we can definitely open this up to discussion, is in the opening scene, we see Theo go through all this trouble to get the U.S. Marshals carrying Duncan Banks from last week out in the middle of nowhere. It was a classic, like, horror. It definitely had this really cool,
Totally.
scary movie motif, like out in the woods,
yeah, like
and
when
the car
he
breaks
hits
down.
the car window.
That was a jumping
Cheap
point.
skater, yeah.
That was a jump point. Yeah, I think I jumped a little bit. I'll be honest.
And
I jumped.
the deputy marshal's face was it looked like a bear attacked him.
It
just
did.
gashed
Oh,
up,
God, yeah.
and it was opened up by that tire iron.
Yeah.
Just the impact, the blunt force trauma to his face.
Was
Yeah.
it a tire iron? I thought he had an axe, a mini axe.
It was a tire iron. He used a mini axe later on in the episode. He used the hatchet later on to cut that guy's wrist off.
Oh,
I thought he used the
God, that
hatchet
was
to kill the. Okay. Wow. You sure?
Terrible.
When he walked away, he had a tire iron. He uses what's available usually.
Sean, are you sure?
But yeah, so really lethal. 2 people dead right off the top from the beginning, and Duncan is spared. We
Spare tire away.
Spare tire.
Nando.
That was no pun intended.
Nando.
Thank you. That was no pun intended.
Pretty
Actually,
good.
it was no pun intended.
Well done.
But anyway, he needs Duncan for part of his plan. So even though, as we learn for a little bit from Joe Carroll, that Strauss doesn't like to have his students mingle that much. He likes to keep them separate and keep their identities quiet for whatever reason. We have a team up here. We got a little spin-off, so to speak. It's
Even
Duncan and Theo.
Superman cannot be in 2 places at once.
Even Superman cannot be in 2 places at once.
That's what I wanted to... Did he really need Duncan? Because if you see throughout the episode, he didn't really need his help. So why would he get him?
He did.
But he didn't expect it, though.
He wouldn't have been able to burn all that evidence
Yeah.
and plant that picture to put a seed of doubt in the
Yeah.
FBI's mind.
Well, yeah.
But wasn't that like a last minute thing? Wasn't that like a...
It was a last minute thing.
Like,
but
he didn't expect it to
If he
happen.
wasn't there,
Right.
he would have had to, fly over there with his red cape and do it himself.
Yeah.
But that was really quick thinking for him to see Max come into Manatech, make the phone call to Duncan before he kills Lewis to have him do another. I mean, that was like he
No,
is quick.
I'm just
He's
saying,
fast.
with getting Duncan, if he only planned on killing Lewis, would he have needed? Like he only wanted to kill one guy. Why would he do? why would he do all this to?
For some
to get
reason,
Duncan?
I guess he felt it was a 2-man job. It happens. Even the smartest people sometimes they need to delegate or whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe he had another plan. I don't know. But I think it's even more curious considering he wants to kill all traces that he kept Daisy alive. And I guess I don't know we didn't see Daisy this episode at all. And that's probably
Tears.
Tears in my eyes. I had to bring her up. And we probably won't bring her up the rest of this episode because there's no
It's
other
too
reason to
painful.
bring her up. It's just too painful. But it is curious to see him trying to tie up loose ends like this and kill everybody. And I mean, even Duncan said later on in the episode, I'm probably on borrowed time too. I'm sure I'm going to be a dead man after this, but for right now, I got to do what I'm being told. So it's really curious to see why Daisy was kept alive.
That's a really good point. I never thought. I didn't even notice that. That's really true.
I noticed when Daisy. I noticed that.
I see what's going on. With
Yeah,
Daisy.
absolutely. So we see. Let's talk a little bit about the FBI before we get into the actual hunt for the passport guy, for all this stuff, because we have some new additions, or rather some old additions, back on the force. The big one being Nick Donovan. The other one being the U.S. Marshal Scott Turner, who was he was in season 1 primarily and part of season 2, and then
Yes.
kind of disappeared because the marshals weren't around as much. I guess he was protecting Joe's wife, all of that. But anyway, Nick Donovan. So, first of all, this show, when I first started covering the show in season 1, I remember interviews with Kevin Williamson where he said 24 was his favorite show, and he wanted to do a show kind of like 24. And one of the classic things in 24 is they always get rid of the director of CTU halfway through the episode, and they replace it with another person that ends up being another obstacle, ends up causing problems, organizational, by the book, badass guy.
Yeah, that's so true.
So here's
That's a
our
good-
guy.
Yeah.
He needs to put up roadblocks for Ryan Hardy
Ryan.
because he doesn't like him.
Yeah,
Even
and-
though he appreciates the way he functions,
Yeah.
he still wants to run the organization or the department or this whatever this hunt is better.
So I kind of made that in my predictions because I assumed there would be a new person that would be in the way. What I didn't realize is it was going to be somebody that we are familiar
New.
with for all the way back from season 1, I believe, right?
Yes,
Mike?
season
yeah.
1.
Mike was the first one who was like, yeah, that's the guy who got his eye stabbed by one of the followers, by the
Yeah.
female follower.
And apparently he doesn't want an eye patch. He just wants to keep the wound out there.
Yeah.
Which is
You know?
weird because that is
It
kind of
is kinda creepy.
He's like, hey guys.
We thought something was Pegah. Didn't you think something was wrong with his face?
Yeah, I was like, what's wrong with that
Just wear
guy's
an-
eye?
Just wear an eye patch, dude. It's
Yeah.
like the wound's like this is a nasty gash. Just wear an eye patch.
Yeah.
If he just had a straight up eye patch on there,
But
he
he-
would be Nick Fury.
I
would look
think
like
that's
Nick
the
Fury.
problem. I think if they gave him an eye patch, there would be too many Nick
Yeah.
Fury jokes. I mean, there's still kind of Nick Fury jokes.
But that's such a good opener. Every time he comes
But,
in, they're like, oh, here comes Nick Fury.
Fury has left the building.
But yeah, so Nick Donovan is back. And I don't know if Scott Turner's going to be back much longer himself. I mean, he's just there for the Marshals, but you never know. We might see him down the line. So I think it's interesting that they're bringing back. This is like the third character from the first season because we had that one girl a couple episodes ago who had the bordello, I believe.
The board. Oh,
I can't remember. Yeah, remember her? I can't remember her name right
the
now.
masochist, right? The
Yes,
masochist?
yeah.
Oh,
So we
yeah.
had her back. So it's interesting they're bringing back some of these characters that survived season 1, but disappeared. So the first big thing is Nick Donovan coming back, and he's the by the book angry boss. this ship's gonna sail right by me. Everything's gonna be by the book. I'm here to fix this problem. So he's obviously gonna be up in Ryan's grill.
Like power trip. Just let him do his job.
No, I was gonna say, like, that moment they have an argument where he's just like, I'm not gonna go by what your intuition said. We're gonna go by the book. I'm like,
we go by evidence here at the FBI, not intuition.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the last time his eye got like gashed out when he didn't go by by Ryan's intuition.
Oh,
is that what happened?
Well,
I'm just saying, Ryan is like, if you just listen to Ryan.
No, well, he started to trust Ryan, if I remember correctly, and I have not rewatched season 1 as recently as you have, Michael, because you caught it sooner. I think if I remember correctly, he was warming up to Ryan Hardy. I think that's what usually happens, even in 24. The director always becomes a badass, and then they realize, okay, maybe I can learn something from Bauer. From Jack
they do
Bauer.
little things that what do you call it? Save them or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Donovan was kind of warming up, but it's possible he was warming up to Ryan Hardy and he felt he let his guard down, and next thing you know, he loses an eye. So that's possible too.
Yeah,
so he's back to the stern, gruff, cliche, boss.
It's like listening to Ryan Hardy, I lost an eye. Let me just
So that's the first change. The second change that we have right now, or not second, the second update to the FBI is Max is back. She's back
at the gun shooting range.
Yeah.
Not supposed to be there.
But, she's not 100%.
She's a badass. She don't care. She don't care about rules.
She wants to get right back
my
to
ribs
her.
hurt. Bang, bang, bang. Like,
I could imagine that gun hurting. Yeah, I mean, she shot it once.
Yeah, I thought the cartridge fell down and it touched her rib.
I thought
and
that
she
too.
was like, "Oh!"
Oh, is that it?
Too.
No, that's what I thought it was. But it's the impact.
It was the kickback.
Yeah, the kickback from shooting the gun.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought it was too. So it was definitely the kickback from shooting the gun. So so she's back, and Ryan's obviously concerned. He cares about her, and she's only on limited desk duty. But of course, Max is, like you said, she's tough.
She finagles her way.
She's tough.
Finagles her way into a way to get into the field.
With Agent Sloan.
Yeah, I wouldn't have trusted Sloan to go on her own for that. That was a big job.
Well, Sloan's such a red shirt anyway. The second we're going, I'm surprised she's still alive, actually.
We got a lot of red shirts. We got Sloan, we got the Marshal, we got the new FBI director guy.
They could all be red shirts. But, it's funny, too, because, Ryan, it's bad enough that Mike doesn't listen to Ryan all the time, but Max is in a position now where Max is like, I want to be a part of this. I want to do what I want to do. And even though Ryan wants to keep her protected, Max is going to go out there and do what she feels she has to do. So Ryan has really, in my opinion, not much control over his
Max
people,
does?
over Max and his. And then, we're still dealing with the whole Tom issue. So, where Tom is still, as far as we know, we didn't see the Max cam in action because she wasn't at home at all. But, Tom's still spying on Max.
Thank God. I was glad they gave that a break a little bit.
I was getting sick of it, too.
Yeah, it was getting a little creepy.
Yeah.
He got aggressive this episode.
Yeah, so we got to see him do a little Tom versus Mike action this time.
It's finally starting, and I originally thought that it was going to be Max was going to have to be out of the picture for this to happen, for them to get aggressive. So while Max is on a case, Tom is starting to dig into Mike a little bit.
They're doing a lot of eye pissing contests.
Oh yeah.
Well,
big time.
I see you. You see me? Yeah, I see you.
Tom is kind of creepy. That's why I thought he was a follower.
Yeah,
Or
the
he
actor-
might be. I don't know.
Yeah, the actor who played him, in the show The Wire, he pretty much played someone that you would think is a Carroll follower. Like, he played like a ruthless killer who had hid bodies in the warehouse. So
he just
he can turn it on.
The way he looks at you,
He's got that intimidation factor.
At first, he looked like a helpless puppy during the first few episodes.
Yeah, kudos to him.
But then after he found the whole webcam thing, he just kept watching it. He's become hardened and super jealous and possessive.
That's what happens when love does that to you, man. Sean, watch out, man. That's what happens.
Love does that.
Love turns you hard.
And
before he was all trusting.
He did the typical alpha male cliche, you're walking down the hall and the other guy's totally just bumped him and Mike and everything. What's up, bro? What's up? Why you bump into me? What's going on?
I see you.
I see you.
Yeah.
I see you. See me? What's your problem?
And then the other guys come in and he walks away still staring at him over his shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you at lunchtime.
After school. So we definitely see that, and we even see Tom Tom bring it up in front of Ryan when they're about to bust in on Duncan and Luis later on in the episode. It says,
also random.
I'm going to do a kill shot. If my men are in danger, I'm going to protect them. Unlike some people, he more or less said something like that.
What does that mean?
Gentlemen, calm down. Not at this moment. But yeah, so
What if Ryan Hardy went in and was like, is this about Max, guys? Can we stop arguing about my niece right now, please?
We have other things
Do you guys both like her? Is this what's happening? You know, the killer lose, right? Can we?
Yeah. So we've seen that coming to a head a little bit more, but obviously it's been put aside with the heat of the moment. But I'm sure it's going to come back and lift its ugly head in a little bit.
It's I don't know. I always think it's cool. I'm like, all right, who's going to say something? Like, they both want to fight each other. Mike's like, oh yeah, I said it.
Yeah.
Maybe I did.
So that's pretty much what's going on in the FBI as we are, moving in on the hunt. Before we go on to the hunt, let me just do a shout out to some of the people in the chat room who are screaming out because we got a bunch of people.
Hey guys.
Hey, chat people.
Hey.
Scotty B, Mary Sunboj Art.
Okay.
I know I'm saying that wrong, so forgive me.
Kudos to you for that.
Mika and Mario Banks, thank you guys for listening in, for all of you guys, and also all of you who are listening to us on iTunes. Thank you so much. Please rate and comment us. I think, you know what, somebody commented on us once this season on iTunes, and then that's been it. So we'd love to get more ratings. And it was like a really bad one because I guess somebody was gulping that episode, and they were like, I don't know who is sipping water, but I gotta know it. It's probably me. I sip a lot. Who knows?
But you talk the most.
I talk the most. No, thanks.
So you have to sip more.
Yeah, so do me a favor. Let's knock that one down. I mean, look, I'm sorry. We won't drink as much. I try not to. If it was me, I've definitely been more conscious of it. But I'd like to see other ratings. So whether you want to give us 2 ratings for something else or give us 5, I'd prefer 5. But I think we do a good enough job. Give us some good ratings. Let us know. Let us know. Tell your friends about us. All that stuff. Okay. Let's talk about the case. So they're hunting. The FBI get to hunt Theo. Theo keeps Duncan alive because Theo has some loose ends that he revealed himself because he was trying to protect Strauss, and Strauss obviously, when the passports got taken by Ryan Hardy, that left Theo vulnerable. So that's why Duncan is still alive, whether he needs Duncan for sure or not. He felt he did. Yeah. So the FBI traced these passports to this guy Luis Serra, who, of course, in typical fashion, is exactly the person that Theo is looking for.
Right on time. Bam.
Yeah, bam. So
that whole poker scene.
Yeah, here's my
let's talk.
Ahead.
Mike wants to bring up the poker scene.
No, this is my WTF moment, my hashtag WTF moment.
Yes.
They were playing poker at like 10 a.m. in the morning, and they were all very awake. Like, at first I thought it was nighttime, but when I was watching, it's completely in the a.m. I'm like, who plays poker? Like, all right, guys, gotta go see my girlfriend. Like, who plays poker at 10:30 a.m. in the morning?
And they had a 6-pack of beer.
They had a 6-pack of beer. It was full. I'm like, what?
Yeah, like these guys, they're not bankers. They don't have 9-to-5 jobs. They were probably playing all night long.
Yeah.
If you're playing all night, they looked really awake to be playing all night long. I didn't see any Red Bulls. I only saw beer. If you're drinking beer all night playing poker.
They must have been so delirious playing all night. That's why they had that mess.
First of all, they must have been doing
mama's house.
I know. Oh, my
they must have been doing whatever it is they do at night, and they probably started playing poker like at 1 or 2 in the morning, and just did a whole 8-hour, 9-hour thing. That would be my guess. I mean, don't forget, Luis was leaving to go to his girlfriend's, and what did he do? He got her flowers. Which probably means whatever he was doing last night besides poker, he pretty much had to say, hey, I love you. I'm sorry I wasn't around. Here we go. Let me in. I want to do a little something. So
he probably left at like 6 a.m. for a good 8 a.m. poker game real quick, because guys love that. Guys love playing poker at 8 a.m. in the morning. Well, that's our thing.
He needed to win flower money.
He needed to win flower money.
That could have been, he could have hustled the whole trick. Like, hey, everyone, hey guys, listen, let's play poker this morning. I need some flower money. Like, all right. As soon as he got it, he left with the guy's rent money.
These guys are criminals, so I don't know. I'm willing to say, okay, whatever the reason was, whatever the timeline was, they were playing all night long.
Nando, not playing.
I know. I'm just like, whatever. But I think it's an interesting point. Yeah. So he left the apartment apparently at 11 a.m. It was said by the FBI later on, and just as he leaves, that's when Theo shows up with Duncan.
hello, gentlemen. There's nothing gentle about us.
Gosh, that was
Chops his hand off.
With the hatchet.
that dialogue was killing me.
That scene.
That dialogue was too much.
Well, we just saw the hand getting chopped off, which was kind of gross in
We didn't
itself.
see everybody else get killed, but
But
boy, he killed everyone.
Yeah, we saw that scene after when the FBI discovered it, and the hand is still on the table,
Yeah.
and blood everywhere. Even on the, they had a shot of one of the lamps, and there was blood all over the lamps.
It was
Man.
very
Yeah.
grotesque.
The hand was on the table, and the hand of cards was on the table, too.
Hey, you're on
Nice.
fire, son. That was
Nice.
good. That's pretty.
So yeah, absolutely, very, very, very crazy scene.
What was the second line? I was like, "Oh, he's at your mama's house,
Yeah.
right, guys?" Because when a random guy comes inside, like, "Oh, hey, who's this random guy?" He's at your mama's house. Come on.
I'm from New York, so yeah, we do a lot of your mama jokes when I was a kid, so I could see this happening too.
They
Yeah,
ain't
your
nothing
mama.
gentle about us.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. It was
Where were they playing to? Were they in the roof or like
basement. They said
were
later in the basement.
Basement.
Ah, I see.
Okay.
Yeah, they
How
said.
did, how
they
did
said
Theo
basement.
find them in the basement?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Theo
we
knows
found that.
everything. He just knows everything.
Well, don't forget. I mean, look, we didn't really talk about it with too much with the car thing, but we see a lot of it. I mean, this guy can hack into any computer and use it as an eavesdropping device, or stop the car. Because cars can get stopped by computers apparently on Wi-Fi. He can redirect to all this stuff. He can do a lot of things. So chances are somehow he knew where to get them. So I don't know, for whatever reason.
Yeah. Apparently, hacking can take the gas out your car.
Yeah, I can do
You know, I'm
anything.
like, oh, I got a flat tire. What happened? I hacked your car.
I mean, he never
Flattened your tires.
He never met Luis before, so I guess somehow he knew, whether through Wi-Fi, through a computer, whatever, he knew where to get Luis. Maybe GPS at the time.
Yeah.
Who knows? But anyway, so we have a dead end, or so we think, right there. And of course, Max, who's on duty, has figured out that the breach that caused that email from Clark, the fake email from Clark, came from a place called Manatech. Mm-hmm. And with Ryan and Mike out, that leaves her and Redshirt Sloan. I just want to call her Redshirt Sloan because I don't think she's going to survive much longer. But yeah, so of course, Theo and Duncan are going for Luis, so you think at first that Max would probably be okay, but of course that's not going to happen. If Max is going out in the field and she's not 100% and she's injured, she's probably going to die. Oh, not die, but she's probably going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
She's probably going to be in trouble.
And they get there, and the guys are talking. She's doing her little interrogation, right, with all the people over there, all the big wigs over at Manatech.
Yeah.
And we hear some guy come up, and the intern goes, "Oh, hey, what are you doing here?" Reveal to Theo.
Yeah.
AKA
I
Clark
really
Kent.
enjoyed that entire Manatech situation. The whole build up with, they didn't really believe what Max was saying. Not believe, but they didn't really trust her. And she's like, "May I remind you, I worked, blah, blah, blah." Like, set them in
that
their
was good.
place.
Yeah.
And then just the little kind of chess pieces that were moving along, like Theo would do this, and then Max would find this out. And then,
Yeah, that was
I don't know,
really,
What I liked about Manatech, again, I don't know why this episode just hit me like 24 a lot, but there's a lot of 24 is
24
things.
is my favorite show in the entire world.
Yeah,
Like, it
24.
will never-
I have all the seasons on
Yeah.
DVD. I love 24, but this was a very 24-esque episode in the sense that it's kind of like they're on this little break, and the whole episode really takes place. The majority of the episode takes place at Manatech in regards to Theo, and that usually happens in 24. Like for 1 hour, Jack Bauer takes a detour into this one area, and the whole episode takes place in this one location, and that's the way this kind of felt. Like all the chess pieces, all the twists and turns. Theo trying to stop the FBI from figuring things out. And look, Theo, even though he's a cold-blooded killer, I think he knew going in, he just wanted to divert attention away from him. He just wanted, I think he knew if he was going to kill FBI agents from the beginning, that it would draw more attention to him. And so he was trying to find ways to eliminate all information about him and to put suspicion on somebody else.
Yeah.
Right?
That little smirk he had when they arrested the first guy, and he did his little Clark Kent thing, and then stuck around until the intern came and spilled the beans on, being his lover and spending the day
his
with
gay mistress.
Yeah.
That was funny.
It got like he got really I think he solidified himself as a main villain in that whole, was it Manatech? Mm-hmm. Manatech scene. Like he just solidified his whole villain. Like he just jumped up a few notches.
Yeah.
Like every all his facial expressions when he was listening on
So good.
on the speaker. I thought he hacked into her cell phone.
No,
I was like, this guy's good. He acted to her cell phone.
Yeah. He's working in his environment. That's his element there. He knows that office setting, so he knows what to do. He knows where to go. It's a labyrinth for everybody else, not for him.
Well, he just turned the space phone on because they had that one shot. It was kind of subtle if you're not familiar with like offices, but it was a space phone, which is usually for conference rooms, and you saw the green light go on. So he was just listening in through the space phone. I mean, I guess you could just simply dial in, but believe it or not, and I've read stuff on this about hackers and the digital age. Like, hackers can like turn on your webcam.
I know. I've heard.
At home, they could actually do that.
So I'll post it on my laptop.
Yeah,
where the camera is. I trust that.
There are experts that say you should turn off your Wi-Fi. If you don't turn off your computer every night, I'm terrible at turning off my computer every night. Turn off your Wi-Fi at night so that hackers can't kind of break into your Wi-Fi.
That's so creepy.
Don't worry about that.
Sorry, that's
doesn't
so
bother
creepy.
me. If you want to take a peek, by all means, I got nothing to hide.
I got nothing.
Hackers who like Micheal Drew can find him at his computer at home.
By all means,
totally.
enjoy the show. I was gonna say I liked the reference they did to the labyrinth with Max when she's going to the bathroom and she called it a labyrinth, but then technically she's stuck in a labyrinth with Theo, who's technically the Minotaur.
Oh,
I mean, if you look at it like that,
look at you.
Thank you. I read.
Michael.
It's a little deep.
I read sometimes. No, but I like that whole. It was like that whole, I guess, kind of like a mini hero quest, and it was really about like Max. Max really like this is the first time that she had no Ryan, no Mike. It was all just
so
her.
Awesome.
And looked, I had a crush on her already, but this episode.
Okay, aside from kicking a door down, my other thing that I really wanted to do is hold a flashlight and a gun.
Yeah, she looks
I've
so
always
cool when
wanted
she
to
does
do
that.
but I'm so not coordinated. I know I would screw that
Every
up.
time she does, I'm like, man, give me your
So
phone
good.
number, Max.
Although she was holding her gun a little too close to her head, it would have like totally knocked her
Sean
out.
pointed
The
that out.
action would have totally kicked back into her face. I was like, you're going to get a black eye from that, Max. Are you serious?
Yeah, but it still saved her life because if she killed Theo or whoever it was,
But then she would end up like
Small
Nick Fury Donovan.
And we go full
she
circle.
would lose an eye. You're saying she would totally lose an eye. I feel like she probably had to keep it high anyway because she probably is favoring her ribs.
Yeah.
Because the kickback, because we saw what happened in the gun range, she ended up
Yeah.
hurting her ribs that way. So she was probably compensating by keeping the gun a little high up. But yeah, this was another really intense scene when, well, first of all, we see Kent the intern rescuing Collins. Because he was the gay mistress, I suppose, and again interesting because Collins and Tucker were the ones that were saying originally, as you mentioned, because when Max was saying I used to do some work doing this, they thought that whoever the hacker was, it was a 3-person team. So that again speaks volumes to how deadly and how incredibly ingenious Theo is. Yeah. That these people, these experts at a security firm that handle the FBI servers, say, oh, there's no way one person could do this. Yeah. When, he did.
One person
did this. But anyway, so...
he's like a prodigy.
Yeah, we see Max... not Max, what was his name? Kent. Mm-hmm. Kent, that was his name.
Kent the intern.
Kent the intern. We see Kent the intern helping Max out, which, of course, Theo was just about comfortable with everything, and then Kent had to open his mouth at that time.
Then he gets redshirted, technically.
He was redshirted. I mean, the second
he showed up.
The second he stepped away.
Yeah.
Redshirted. But, in another FBI WTF, that's like a radio station. WFBI. FBI WTF. This is a crime scene. Manatech is a crime scene, and yet Max is all alone. And Kent's still in the place, and Theo is still in the place. So major FBI WTF, I would say.
Yeah, I mean...
What are you thinking, Pegah? Because you have this...
Yeah, that's true. Where did Sloan go?
Yeah, Sloan wasn't even around.
What the heck?
And this is a crime scene.
She should have called in some backup, had some HRT guys there with their body armor on.
Total WTF moment.
Yeah, I think they definitely need more people, especially since, some of the people said it was a 3-person job. Who knows if it's more than one person behind us at Manatech?
How would she not know that Kent wasn't lying to her? Like, oh, here's a picture of us together. Whack!
Like, when was that taken even? I mean...
The day before. He said it was yesterday.
Well, he says, but it could have been
Phones have timestamps now.
But did she check it? I don't know. There was just...
Well, she was a tech security expert with the FBI or with the New York Police Department, rather.
Yeah, I think for the sake of editing, they're not going to say, okay, let me see the phone. Let's see the timestamp. Okay.
Confirmed.
Let's see if it's Photoshopped. Okay. All right, I believe you now. For the sake of editing, we're just going to say she had an expert eye.
Fine.
But look, when Kent walks away and Theo confronts him. Again, very, very creepy moments. I mean, Theo bumping into Max earlier, and Max, obviously showing she hurt her. So I'm actually surprised that Theo didn't take advantage of her ribcage in this episode.
I thought he was going to follow her to the bathroom. When he showed her with the bathroom?
Yeah.
I thought he was going to follow her.
Yeah, that
But there's too many people there still.
At that point, he was still, I think, trying to eliminate suspicion and put it onto somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that was his priority. But seeing Kent die that way, that was so sad too. You could have saved the world. You were the brightest one here, and I took your future away from you. It's so sad.
Yeah, that was. That was kind of creepy.
That was a really sad.
That was a Dexter moment. You just reveal everything, like you put out all the truth that you want to tell someone right when you have them at their point of death.
Oh.
Huh. That was
Yikes.
Yeah, that was a little weird. But yeah, poor Kent. And then Max comes to discover the body, and the second she sees the body for a split second, lights out. Up comes the gun, up comes the flashlight. Pegah loved that. Makes the call, and there we go, seeing her in action. And super, again, another awesome classic like horror movie type scene. Seeing, in a isolated, she's all alone, and again, who's being hunted here? Because it sure seemed like Theo had the upper hand for most of this.
Yeah, that was a really cool scene when you pretty much saw it from his perspective. His perspective when he's following her. Had to get to the mic. When he's following it, I thought that was really, really cool.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like if I was there, I would have seen him in my peripheral. Like, he was right there.
But there's so much light coming from the outside. You can't really see what's going on, behind that pillar. And he was really in the shadows.
I like how he did the stereotypical killer pose. He had the knife over his head.
And the knife is bloody.
It wasn't over his head. It was just like up a little bit above his shoulder, ready for the thrust.
Perfect camera framing for the TV.
Yeah.
Perfect camera framing.
Like this.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, and again, I think also, Max is hurting, so she's not 100%. You ever been like hurt and you are paying attention to as many things because you're kind of still dealing with a little bit of pain? Like, I could see that too. Like, she's not at 100%.
She was vulnerable, totally.
If he did exploit her her injury, and maybe like smacked her or punched her in the ribs like from behind, and then the police come and he has to take off, she would have known. She would have been like, who would know about that?
Yeah.
I only told one person. The guy I bumped into.
That's an interesting idea.
So it's good that he just took off.
It's good that he just took off. Okay, that's pretty smart. I didn't think of it that way. Yeah. But of course, we do see, as you said, we do see him about to go for the kill, and then the sirens come, and you said it yourself when he disappeared completely.
He did. He was so quick. And aren't they supposed to like secure the exits in these types of things? Like nobody can go in and I don't know.
Well,
but
again,
this is his home.
But this is a crime scene, and the FBI or at least some kind of local PD or whatever should be all over this place, right?
Yeah.
My whole
turn the lights on at least. Right? They
Theo controls the lights.
Still on.
Theo controls the lights. He has the light switch, and he's just like tick.
Yeah, it's like on
lights.
his iPhone.
It's a Nest. It's a Nest.
He has an app.
Yeah, he has an app.
I have my whole WTF on the whole, like these guys trained by like college professors who somehow become more inept than FBI agents is just so crazy to me. That's the only thing. Every time I watch this episode,
your biggest.
I know I say it all the time, but I'm just like, come on, this guy was trained by like this pudgy college professor, and he's somehow out. He's like a FBI Marine. Perfect killer. I'm like, oh, come on.
No, but he already knew all the hacking stuff before he met Dr. Strauss.
And then the good doctor turned him into Batman?
Cold-blooded killer.
Superman? Or whatever. I like it.
Yeah, but anyway, so we see him disappear just like that, still a ghost, and Max never saw him, had no idea other than the bump earlier. She hasn't seen him. So yeah, so as far as Max is concerned, I guess that turns into a dead end. What Theo did, first of all, he put the suspicion on Collins until Kent was able to take that, and get rid of that. And then Theo, as you said, made a call right away over to Duncan, who's with Luis, was just about to kill him. That was kind of a fun little banter too. I mean, Duncan got to have some fun too. He got to kill Luis's girlfriend. That was a pretty, brutal scene.
Yeah.
Another WTF.
See, it wasn't that brutal because we didn't see her get attacked. It was just blood splattered all over her.
It's just funny, like the news was on while they're getting frisky, and then she like happens to look over.
Don't you have the news on like as background?
Oh my goodness! Oh, hey, you're on the news.
Yeah,
That's your building.
yeah.
But so Duncan, got delegated to taking care of Luis, and as I said before, he's pretty much going to kill. Everyone knows he's going to kill Luis, but he's even thinking he's on borrowed time. So his job is to eliminate any trace of Theo with the passports, and Theo calls just in the nick of time when everything's going down in Manatech to get Luis to do one last job. And first of all, let's talk about Ryan Hardy gets shot.
Yeah, well,
he gets shot, but he's got a vest on.
Yeah.
But
That was a good shot, though.
That was a shotgun blast.
Yeah.
that was.
But it was up against a vest, up against buckshot, doesn't really do that much.
Really?
Yeah.
What's a buckshot?
Buckshot's where all the pellets come out of the shotgun shell.
Okay.
Yeah, if it was a slug, that would have probably gone through at that range.
Yeah.
That close, because
Yeah.
that's like just one thick.
I'm not a gun person, so
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because I was actually wondering. I thought a shotgun would do a lot more damage, so I'm glad you said that.
Huh.
Yeah.
I learned
Yeah.
something new today.
Da-da-da.
But yeah, like
Yeah.
the medic said, if it was up to his face, obviously
face.
unprotected, he'd
Nope.
be dead.
Yeah.
Up to his
more you
face,
know.
no face. But so Ryan gets shot. But I said it at the time, and they mentioned it. He's got the pacemaker back there too, so I could still probably do some damage to him.
We haven't really heard about Ryan's pacemaker for quite some time.
No, that's the first time that we heard it in a while.
this season.
Yeah,
They could be trying to just phase it out, not to bring it up.
Yeah, because it was a huge aspect in season 1.
Yeah.
only in one.
Yeah.
And then he started working out between season 1 and season 2. He started running and exercising, and next thing you know, in season 1, what they would do is when Ryan was running for a little while, they started using the heartbeat in the background to kind of like accentuate that he's tired.
Yeah.
That he is not athletic anymore.
I like that.
Yeah.
I want them to bring back his heart condition so that we can have that little bit of danger.
That device?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was a kind of cool device. I mean, we brought it up a lot in season 1, but I
Yeah.
thought it was a kind of interesting device, and it's kind of been eliminated.
It
But
brings more urgency to the chase.
yeah,
He has to catch the killer before his heart gives out.
Yeah.
I could see that being a movie. Like kind of like what was that Jason Statham movie?
Crank.
Crank or something. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there was a Kevin Costner movie like that recently.
Oh,
3
really?
Days to Kill.
3 Days to
Yeah,
Kill.
yeah.
That's right. That one too.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Anyway, we digress. So Duncan is dead as a result of that
he's
shootout.
dead, right? He's
It looks
dead?
like I think he's pretty much dead.
I really want a Dunkin' Donut right now.
Okay.
Sorry, you just said Dunkin'. I thought donut.
That's
I'm hungry.
Oh, I want to say one thing about Duncan too. They had a moment, him and Theo, in the car.
okay.
Theo looked at him. He said, "Do you always talk this much?" And he said, "Not when I kill. That's a sacred time."
Ooh.
And they both had that little moment.
Yeah, they were like, "Yes," or Theo was like, "Yes, that is a sacred time. You're right."
That's when they bond. That was some
Yeah.
nice serial killer bonding.
Nice serial killer moment.
And then he sent him to his death.
Yeah.
Okay, so Duncan's dead.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure
Another-
Duncan's dead.
What's with these quick shots?
He
Like,
was so
keep him
expendable.
alive. Well, I know, but now how are you gonna find Theo? Like, come on.
Well, I don't
They
think
keep
Duncan would have
killing-
revealed
He
Theo,
would
because
not
Duncan wouldn't have. And at the same time, I think that death to me at least made more sense in the heat of the moment because
guess.
he was shooting to kill Ryan. So that's one thing. But like when they have them in their sights, like what happened with with Kyle earlier this season, like that was a little more like you couldn't like shoot to maim.
Yeah, that's true.
That was a little different. I'm okay with that.
Well, because they had Duncan before and he didn't say anything about Theo.
Yeah.
So they probably
Well, he
knew
didn't know
what-
anything.
Yeah, but now
That's
he
true, he
knows.
didn't know.
If they had him, I mean, I'm not saying he would have squealed, but it would have been
Yeah, I get you.
something.
It bothers
Yeah,
you.
but we see, but Duncan is the only person, I guess, that's alive, I guess, right now, other than Daisy, that knows what Theo looks like. Because as we see, the job that Luis was doing that one last passport, was again another plan of Theo's to get the scent off of him.
Yeah. Which I love that Ryan picked up on that. I mean, he is so smart. There's no way that this guy, Tucker, is it, who they blamed it on? Yeah.
Which is the head of Manatee.
Right. There's no way that Tucker, being an expert computer person, would leave all these unencrypted files out in the open for us to find.
Yeah.
And Nick's like, we go by, the evidence.
Go by the book.
I'm reminded
But it's
of Colin Farrell's character in Minority Report. He's like, "This is an orgy of evidence. You know how many orgies we had in the FBI? None.
Wow.
This doesn't make sense. This is too much information. This is clearly a plant. This is a way to divert us.
Yeah, but here's Nick Donovan causing trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, Ryan can see that there's something not right here. This guy, all of a sudden, it's too easy to figure out it's Tucker. And Donovan's going to be putting the stops on Ryan, causing a little trouble. And it's going to be kind of like it was in season 1, kind of like it is in 24 all the time. Jack Bauer versus CTU sometimes versus the head of CTU. Now it's going to be Ryan Hardy versus Nick Donovan a little bit too. Nick's going to be stopping him.
Yeah, Ryan's not going to have a problem going rogue and doing his own thing if he has to.
Yeah.
He's done it before, hasn't he?
He's done it before. Yeah. So
goes dark.
We're definitely going to see that. So that pretty much is as far as Theo. The trail seems cold right now. Theo stole Tucker, took his car. Tucker has to disappear, not be dead, for them to still suspect Tucker, for at least for Donovan to suspect Tucker. So right now, Theo is, as far as we know, he's lost in the wind. We don't know what Theo's next plan is. I'll bring up Daisy again because I don't know. Maybe she'll be back. Maybe she won't. Hopefully she'll be back. But let's talk about that last little bit with Ryan and Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Amazing
I think
scene.
that was an amazing scene. First of all, it's an awesome way to get Joe out of that cell because it's great to see that, but it's great to see him outside of the cell. So it was a beautiful device. I'll say device
so
again
good.
to get them both out to be buddy. What do you guys?
Wow.
What do you guys think? What do you guys catch from that scene?
It was like an "I love you, man" moment. That's what I was expecting.
Totally.
Like, I love you, man.
What I saw is that Ryan he's breaking under the pressure here. He's becoming weak. He's drinking in his
dream.
In his dream. That shows how much of an alcoholic he is.
And with Joe.
And those are the two things. Yeah, you're right. Those are the two things he hates. He hates Joe Carroll, and he hates to drink, and he's dreaming about loving both of them.
Does he hate to drink, or he can't drink because he's an alcoholic? I don't know.
Well, it's like his,
You love it and you hate
Guilty
it at the same
pleasure.
time.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Maybe it's his 2 forbidden loves.
I wonder if
His
he
2
likes
forbidden
playing
loves.
pool. If he hates that, that's 3 things.
3 forbidden loves.
If they weren't enemies, they'd be friends.
Well, I think that's what it says. I mean, Joe's speech in the dream was pretty much like you and I. When everyone else, he's commiserating to Joe because obviously Ryan is pissed off that Donovan doesn't believe him or his idea, so he's commiserating to Joe. Joe's the only person that will listen to him in this dream. And yeah, it's pretty freaky. I think I don't know if I wrote down exactly what he said there, but it was all like, when everyone else abandons you, there will always be me and you versus the world, something like that.
Yeah.
Ryan Hardy and Joe Carroll against the world, the dynamic duo.
Yes.
I think Joe Carroll says, "Where will I be?" and then Ryan says, "By your side," or "By my side."
Yeah.
Wow. They're finishing each other's sentences.
They're finishing each other's sandwiches.
Beautiful, guys.
Absolutely.
And drinks.
And drinks. There we go. And and really, really amazing scene. And then the other kicker, the drinking I thought was huge. Drinking in the dream because Joe has brought up drinking in the cell to Ryan. But the other kicker is when Ryan wakes up. We all knew it was a dream.
Yeah.
We all figured that out. But when Ryan wakes up, he's in bed with Gwen, which don't forget, Joe keeps asking about his love, and we keep suspecting that there's still something going on with Gwen. So I thought that was an interesting
She
thing.
wasn't too nosy this episode, but
She wasn't too
still
nosy.
onto her.
And last episode, Joe even asked him, Ryan, am I in your dreams?
Yeah.
Are you dreaming of me?
He's doing that little mind trickery with Ryan Hardy. Yes,
Ryan
absolutely.
Hardy.
Ryan
Into
Hardy.
prediction.
Yeah, so I think we're about time. That's pretty
Let's
much
go ahead and read some comments from our fans
really
on YouTube.
Quick, let's get some comments real quick.
So we had Sage Valentine. She said, Joe is going to be off death row before the end of the season. Somehow, he will persuade Ryan to help him. Ooh. That's an interesting prediction.
That's a good prediction right there.
And you know what? I think, judging by what's going on, especially with the dream at the end of this episode, it might come true.
I think so.
Scotty B said, I'm really wondering why Theo left Daisy, or let Daisy go, rather. Maybe he made a deal with her and she is helping him now? Perhaps?
I think that might be true.
Nando likes that one.
I think that might be true.
Like the same with Duncan, right?
Yeah.
He made a deal with him. Bouquet S says, the cute Beacon deputy's name is Hillary.
Yep.
Yes.
So we got that.
We did get that, yes.
All right, that's great. And that's all the comments I got written down.
Yeah, so let's go on to predictions.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Okay, so I didn't, just a little disclaimer. I don't think there was anything in scenes from next week that really revealed anything, so I don't think we're going to be pulling from that.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't like to be spoiled, I don't think you have anything to worry about with these predictions. But what do you guys ascertain based on what we've seen so far?
I know Joe's not going to die.
Yeah.
He can't.
No, he
There
can't.
will be no following without Joe. I don't care who else they find. So something's going to happen where Ryan, I agree with whatever that comment was, Sage. Ryan's going to fight really hard to get Joe's help, at least for a little while. And that's all.
I'm gonna co-sign what you leaked to earlier. I think Ryan is going to maybe find Daisy, and she's going to help him find Theo. I don't know if all that's going to happen. I feel like it might be too much, but I'm thinking Daisy's gonna come back, and they won't catch Theo yet, and she might have something to do with him finding Theo.
Okay.
I'm reaching for that one, but I think that might go down.
Interesting.
I think that Ryan Hardy is going to succumb to drink within the next 2 episodes.
I think I like that. I think things have to get a little bit worse for Ryan to succumb. I think he has to have another hardship. Maybe someone die on the task force.
Maybe Max.
Don't
as
say
well.
Max. Don't. No.
Maybe not. There's a lot of red shirts that could still
Sloan
go.
can go.
But Sloan could go or whatever. But I do think that he has to have another hardship. But I do think that Ryan, what better way to go rogue when you got Donovan breathing on your back than getting Joe Carroll to escape?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I
yeah.
think I could see Ryan Hardy totally trying to get Joe Carroll to escape. We can't forget about Mark. Mark is still out there too. He's disappeared for a couple
forgot about
episodes.
him.
He has nothing to do with Theo right now. But I don't think he's going to be back for a while, honestly. But I don't want to eliminate him. But yeah, I think we need to see what Daisy's plan is. And look, the hunt for Theo continues. I think that's going to be what's going to take the focus for the next couple of episodes. But again, I think at some point, really, really soon, with the next 2 episodes, Ryan is going to get Joe Carroll out of prison.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Absolutely.
Cool.
I'm down for that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in this week to the following after show here on AfterBuzz. Hello, panel. Where can we find you during the week?
Well, you guys can find me at Sean Austin O on Twitter and Instagram.
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and now Periscope at Pegah Rad.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Micheal_Drew, Micheal EAL. That's it.
All right, awesome. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Nandovel, Nandovel. You can also find all of us here on various different shows here on AfterBuzz. We have about, 97 now running during the week with 25 million weekly downloads, I believe. So, yeah, again, you can tune in. Please rate, comment, tell a friend if you really like the following. They could tune into this and also all the other shows on AfterBuzz. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.